When you're going to a gig, know your audience and know your situation. Welcome back. I did a headlining gig at a local show in upstate New York this past weekend, Saturday night. Some comics in this area that are starting out, they put it together. They did an outstanding job. There were over 100 people at this bar restaurant in Johnstown, New York. And I was headlining. I was only doing 25 minutes. But I knew going in there, I had to prepare myself for that type of crowd. A lot of the people there probably never saw stand-up before. The room was split between two different sections. One was like almost enclosed, where the majority of people were sitting. And then if you stepped away a little bit outside, you'll see it here. You won't see the bar part, but there was a bar and there was seating out there, and then people all around the bar. There were darts and pool tables. It was two totally different types of vibes because the people in the bar were talking a lot during the sets, and they didn't have sound set up out there. So when I got there, I knew I was going to have to do older material. I couldn't just go up there and do new material. I haven't gotten to the open mics like I wanted to. And even if I did, I know what I'm getting in for. It's like a one-nighter. So the audience was predominantly, it was like 99% white. It's a small rural town that used to be manufacturing. Now they do warehouse fulfillment for like Walmart and Amazon, I believe. And because of the way the show was set up with people talking, I knew that I had to get them quickly. I had to hammer them with material, and I had to put in some local references. It was important for me to do that because it's like being a lion tamer at some of these one-night or one-off shows in a place that doesn't usually do comedy. This place, it was a great bar and grill, but they're not used to having this many people. They have one waitress. She was overwhelmed. Every person who was even related to the bar or slightly an owner was there working. So they were packed. And they hooked up the sound right before I went on so that the rest of the bar could hear it. And it's kind of funny, the bar got louder instead of listening at points. But once I got them, I knew I had to keep my foot on the throttle. And there were a couple jokes that I did that there was nothing. So I had to just go right to the next bit. Keep that in mind when you're performing. When you're doing something other than an open mic or a comedy club, sometimes it's like fighting for your life. You're trying to keep their attention. You're trying to keep them laughing. So here's some of the local stuff I did. Because I'm from the area, I knew this will get them on my side right away. They'll know that I'm a local guy. And I'm going to do material that no other comic will ever do for them. It's almost like I tailored it for this show.
All right, Johnstown. Huh? Got lost on the way here. My GPS said, don't make any jokes about taking away their fucking guns. I used to live in Los Angeles. I moved back to Schenectady. Boy, what a great decision that was. People say, why would you leave Los Angeles to move to Schenectady? And I'm like, where else can you buy a 6-bedroom house for $47? Gloversville. It's my favorite thing about Vice. You're come for the food, stay for the memories. Remember that time you got stabbed at Vice? That was good. We had a good time there, boy. You almost bled out, didn't we? We had that guy from Walmart shipping, so I could take you out and put you out on an Amazon truck. I love the lighting you got going for the big show. Somebody's car breakdown? What the fuck is going on?
So I made fun of the bar. I made fun of where they were, who they were, in a sense. being from Johnstown. I made fun of other local towns. I made fun of my city. All of that stuff resonated with them. I did very short jokes. No long setups, no long chunks of material, unless there were a bunch of jokes within that little story. Very important, because if you lose them anywhere along the way, they're not going to pay attention all the way through to the punchline. And then the little pockets of people talking, they grow louder and it spreads to everyone else. Here's another important aspect. I talk a lot about race in my old act. I have a lot of, it's not racist material. I just talk about race. And there were 2 black people in the entire crowd. One, I think she was black. She looked black. Maybe she was mixed. And then the other black person was a guy I went to high school with who came to see just me. So I actually addressed that. Here's what I did. I cut a lot of that material. Not because I thought the crowd was racist, quite the opposite. If it's a predominantly white crowd, what you'll find as a white comic is talking about race makes them feel uncomfortable. They start getting worried that you as the comic are going to delve in an area that is racist, and then they're not going to know how to react. They don't want guilt by association. So I referenced my friend, and then I made a couple jokes about it.
All right, let's lighten things up. So black people, right? The only fucking black person I've seen here is my friend from Mount Pleasant High School, Dolly Grayson. I love black people. GL, I wish I was black. That way I can start dating these white bitches again.
Now, I've talked about on this channel that you don't want to bring yourself down to the level of the audience, in the sense that you don't want to pander too much. You want to tell them what's funny, not ask them what's funny. And I still did that. However, given the circumstances, I can't go on some esoteric rant about existential ennui and expect this crowd in particular to follow me there. And I was headlining. I mean, the other comics did really well, but they're pretty new. And so the responsibility for the show was on my shoulders. There's a big flyer that they had printed out. Jack Dudar produced the show, and he contacted, this is another smart thing. He contacted the beer distributor and said, hey, will you make posters for this show that'll be up in the bar? And they said, yeah, we'd love to. So it had Miller or Miller Lite on the poster, I think maybe on the flyers, and he got it done for free. So it was free advertising. He knew enough to contact somebody who had a shared interest. Hey, you promote our show, it'll promote your beer. There's 2 important lessons from this. 1, recognize who your audience is and be the person who can control that and make sure they get a great show by doing the material that will work best in that environment. And 2, have enough material so that you can switch different pieces in and out depending on who that audience is. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Again, I want to stress that for April, the month of April, I'm doing the one-on-one personalized coaching sessions with comics. This is my email right here. It's only $50 for April, because I know a lot of people are having a tough time money-wise, and I don't want that to be a barrier to help you kind of leapfrog where you are with your act. And stay tuned. The next video I'm going to come out with, I've been working on it, but and some of you may not like this, but you need to hear it. I'm sick of Kill Tony. That show should come to an end. It won't, but I'm going to talk about it. And I'm not going to take any shots at Tony Hinchcliffe or the comics that participate, but enough is enough. Stop making fun of open micers. for profit. You're supposed to help each other, not put each other down. All right, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.
Sal, how'd you come up with the idea of Miami Vice themed bar in Johnstown, New York? Holy shit. Do you think Rockford Files was too rare a reference? Yeah. Hey, honey, you want to go to Simon & Simon this weekend?